Hello everyone, patching in today's first video, doing the ECM doing a 30-day look ahead for today's first video. So we're going to look at temperature and rainfall anomalies for the next 4 weeks for Europe. And yeah, we're going to be going pretty much through the whole of August with this. It's going to take us more or less to the end of the month. We can go to 6 weeks out with this, but we always start at week 4 for this video, and then we'll look at weeks 5 and 6 temperature and rainfall anomalies, which will take us into the first half of September in our live stream tomorrow. So that will be coming up in the live stream tomorrow from 6 o'clock, but this one is going to stop at the end of August. So it's a 4-week month head look ahead with the ECM. So yeah, for the Copernicus.eu website for this, a big thank you to them for supplying the charts. So later on today, we're going to have a 10 to 14 day video update, including all of regular features, and that will be coming up later on this afternoon. Right, so begin with week 1 temperature anomaly for Europe, taking us from the 3rd through to the 9th of August. Looks pretty warm in the west, doesn't it? So we have above average temperatures here being forecast for much of western and northern Europe, from Scandinavia all the way down into Germany, through France, down the Low Countries, down to Spain and Portugal, into the UK and Ireland, also above average temperatures there. Southeastern parts of England, for example, up to around 2 to 3 degrees above average. Northern parts of France and into Low Countries and Germany, we're kind of going 4 to 5 degrees above average through there, and central parts of Spain. So it is very hot across the western part of Europe. Also up across Scandinavia, many areas are going to be at least 1 to 2 degrees above average. It's not hot everywhere though, because you do have this cooler areas from like the Alps and down through Italy, and also through the Balkans as well, around the Adriatic. It's definitely cooler there. Further east still, though, from Ukraine towards the Black Sea, I should say, and southwestern parts of Russia, it is warmer than average through there. Mediterranean is looking like this, so it's warm in the west from like the Balearic Islands back in towards inland parts of Spain and also Portugal. It's pretty warm through there. As I say, cooler through Italy, I mean cooler going down towards Greece as well. So bit of an east-west split in the Med actually this week. Warmer in the west, cooler across the eastern part of the Mediterranean from Italy eastwards. Rainfall looks like this, so pretty dry in the north and west too. It is a bit wetter than average for Norway, and also going into Scotland and Northern Ireland, so quite clearly that's where the jet stream is, and we've got areas of low pressure coming through here. There's a jet stream going through there, but otherwise large ridge of high pressure covering much of northern Europe, so most parts of Scandinavia back into Baltic, into western Russia, looking pretty dry, and then these dry conditions extend down through Denmark into Germany, and then on in towards France and southern parts of the UK, all dominated by high pressure through there. Where we have that cooler area around Italy and going over towards the Balkans, and then down to parts of Greece, it is wetter than average through there, so big showers and thunderstorms likely there. And then we run back into another ridge of high pressure across Ukraine, going back towards southwestern Russia and down towards the Black Sea as well. In the Mediterranean, so again, it's wetter than average from Italy down towards Greece in that eastern part of the Med. The central western part of the Med actually has near normal precipitation through there. Could be some thunderstorms around Mallorca, Minorca and Ibiza, with slightly above average rainfall close to the Balearic Islands. Week 2 temperature anomaly takes us from the 10th to the 16th of August. Again, it's looking very warm across much of the north and west. So the hottest anomalies to average are kind of like from France through the Low Countries in towards particularly western parts of Germany. Again, we're sort of going up to 5, 6, maybe 7 degrees above average through there. So it does look very significantly hotter than average across that western part of Europe. Also going up towards Scandinavia as well, significantly warmer than average, particularly for southern parts of Norway and Sweden, and also to Denmark also. For Ireland and the UK, it's another warmer than average week for us as well. Temperature anomalies generally around 2 to 3 degrees above average. So yeah, it's a proper warmer than average week coming up across many northern and western parts of Europe. It's also warmer on the eastern side of Europe as well, so things are warming up through Italy, warming up close to the Balkans, still looking a little bit cool in this southeastern corner of the Med from Greece down towards Turkey, a little bit cooler than average there, but of course it's high summer, so it will still be pretty hot. Spain is also looking hotter than average, as is much of the central basin Mediterranean, just a little bit cooler close to Portugal. This is a very warm week coming up across many parts of Europe by the look of it. Precipitation looking like this, so again pretty dry across most areas. It looks like northern Europe is dominated by high pressure. The high pressure is probably going up to Scandinavia this week and becoming a Scandinavian high. Excuse me. For England and Wales, for Republic of Ireland and for northern France, going a bit wetter than average. This could be indicating a bit of thunder developing here through this second week of August. So you've got the high going up to Scandinavia, Scandinavian high dominating up here, bringing very warm easterly winds across much of Europe, but we could be getting a thundery low developing around here and moving northward. So possibly very warm, possibly hot across France and into the UK, but also thundery as well. Further north into Scotland, it looks drier than average through there. So this could be indicative of a bit of thunder across particularly England and Wales, and also northern parts of France. Eastern Europe looking generally dry on average, a ridge of high pressure through there, and then down into the Mediterranean, this second week of August, shaping up to have average precipitation. Could be a little bit drier through the central bowl of the Med. Week 3 temperature anomalies takes us from the 17th to 23rd of August, and again it's looking pretty hot across most areas. This is shaping up now to be a very warm August, and the ECL wasn't really indicating this to such a degree like a couple of weeks ago. This is now shaping up to be a very, very warm to hot August across most parts of Europe, most areas having above average temperature anomalies again. Once more in the extreme east around the Black Sea, going down to this far southeastern corner of the Mediterranean like Turkey, maybe parts of Greece into Cyprus, those sort of areas looking cooler than average through there, and up to southern and southwestern parts of Russia as well. But coming back through most parts of Europe, it's warmer or hotter than average in most areas, many parts of Europe coming out with temperature anomalies at least a couple of degrees above average, some areas going above that, going warmer than that, 2, 3 or 4 degrees above average, particularly perhaps through these central areas like from eastern Germany through Poland and on back to Ukraine, for example, and possibly up to southern parts of Scandinavia. It could be very warm up there. Down in Mediterranean, most areas are looking pretty warm too through the Med. Most areas above average, except in this southeastern corner. For Ireland and the UK, again, we're around 1 to 2 degrees above average, so it does look significantly warmer than average across most parts of Europe this week. Precipitation anomalies from the 17th to 23rd of August. Generally, most areas quite dry. It's a little bit wetter across Norway. We do see that it's a little bit wetter across Norway. Some sort of showery rain, maybe hit and miss thunderstorms for parts of the UK as well, maybe into central parts of France. But overall, many of these northern and western areas look like they're still dominated by high pressure and bringing generally drier than average conditions to much of the north, the west, and even some central parts of Europe. It looks a bit more unsettled again around the Adriatic, so from Italy to the Balkans. It looks like it's more unsettled. We have a chance of thunderstorms. Those storms perhaps backing away towards Black Sea. Also down into the Mediterranean. The western part of Med looks pretty dry. Southeastern part of Med does look a little bit more unsettled through this week. It looks as though week 3, the third week of August, is still essentially dominated by high pressure across many, many parts of Europe, but just a little bit more influence from a jet stream, some lower pressure coming in from off the Atlantic in this week. And then we go through to week 4, which takes us from the 24th to the 30th of August, and it's still up an above average scene with temperatures across most areas. Maybe just hinting at cooling down a little bit in the extreme northwest. I'm not sure of the anomaly for Ireland, for the UK, and for particularly Norway, but also other parts of Scandinavia, is quite as high in this week. But then again, it is 4 weeks out, so the signal will be weakening the further out you go anyway. But maybe just lowering the temperature anomaly a little bit this week in the far northwest, could be cooling down a bit, but generally most areas, again, we're talking about 1 to 2 degrees above average in Spain, right way up to west of Russia. So another very warm week coming up for this final week of August in most parts of Europe, away from the extreme far northwest. Down in the Mediterranean, most central western areas from Italy back to Spain, looking dry, looking warmer than average, a little bit on the cooler side in that southeastern part of Med. Looks like another very warm week through most areas there for the last week of August. Finally, precipitation wise, we're looking like this. So again, it's turning more and turning extreme northwestern corner, particularly for Norway and northern parts of Sweden, western average through there, beginning to go western average to northwestern parts of Scotland. So just again, maybe the suggestion of the jet stream and areas of low pressure beginning to get a little bit stronger in this northwestern corner from off the Atlantic. But that said, again, many areas of drier than average. It's much drier than average, for example, for England and Wales. It's much drier than average much of France, most parts of the Low Countries, Germany, even some of the parts of Scandinavia, Denmark, and Sweden, coming out drier than average, and much of Eastern Europe is drier than average too. So high pressure continues to rule the roost through most of this August, and even into the last week of the month. There's a lot of high pressure on offer through these areas, just perhaps a little bit more influence from the jet stream and areas of low pressure in the extreme northwestern corner. Most parts of Med are also looking quite dry too. So this is shaping up now to be a very warm and dry August through most parts of Europe. And yeah, this could be a little bit of a classic summer month coming up now through many parts of Europe, dominated by high pressure, bringing loads of dry and potentially very warm weather as well. And yeah, it looks like we really are in for a proper summer month here, and maybe the warmest August for a very long time. So we shall see how it all pans out. Now, in tomorrow's live stream from 6 o'clock, we will extend out even further than this with these charts, and we're going to look at the weeks 5 and 6 temperature and rainfall anomalies, and that will take us through the first couple of weeks of September, more or less. So will we have an early autumn, or will we have an extension of summer in September? You'll find out what the ECM view is on that in tomorrow's live stream from 6 o'clock. We'll do it all over again next week. Just a snapshot of what these models are showing. They could all look very, very different next week. We should be back later on with your 10 to 14 day video update. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.